What is going on, all of my people of the planet? I am D-Venom. Lie back, relax, and enjoy. Let me raise those vibrations like I normally do. I hope all of my people of the planet are staying on that straight and narrow and doing everything possible to elude psychic vampires and or negative energies from one's life. Those particular elements can take away from, darken, lower, jeopardize, and steal in regard to energies and or vibrations. So if we can elude those particular elements and or circumstances, then let's do so at all times and all costs. So a miracle happened overnight, you guys, that I want to tell you all about. But before I do so, there's other things that I want to talk about. So let's dive into that right now. Happy Sunday, everyone. I hope that your Sunday is going accordingly as planned. I hope that you guys have had a fantastic breakfast, or hopefully you will be having a fantastic breakfast. I really couldn't sleep last night. It's not because I was watching a lot of scary movies, but I was watching a lot of scary movies last night, and I was dozing off here and there, but to fully get the rest that my body and my mind, let me rephrase, to fully get the rest that my mind, body, and spirit needs in order to rejuvenate itself, I did not get. But I feel perfectly fine. People such as myself that are ADHD and bipolar that pretty much live and thrive off of energy, it really doesn't affect us when we don't get that full 8 or 9 or 10 or 12 hours worth of rest. I've been resting really well these past couple of weeks, and I can go a day, with my rest habits being a little off track. I'll just take a nap in between and let that be the reason. But aside from that, I woke up, I had my coffee, and I made myself a bomb breakfast. I made French toast bites, and I had butter syrup to go with it, and I had oat milk mixed with almond milk. And anyway, I made an egg sandwich with romaine tomatoes, Roman tomatoes, or whatever the fuck, red onions, poppy seed bread that I got from the food pantry. The eggs, I put white aged cheddar cheese in it. What else did I put? I just started that egg, bacon, turkey bacon, and I had slices of salami. I just know that sandwich was off the meat rack, and I fucked half of it up. Do you understand me? I love when I can just wake up and just make myself a nice breakfast and don't have to share with anybody. That makes it even better. I have no children to share with, no pets to share with. I have no spouse to share it with, no neighbors. Well, I have neighbors, but I'm not sharing my sandwich with their ass. Sorry. I just have it all to myself. And there are homeless people out here that I could share it with. I feel kind of bad about that, but they don't even get none of it. This sandwich is good. I have leftover eggs, I have leftover bacon, and I will probably be making myself another one of these sandwiches after I clean this one out, because remember, I have half of it left, so I will eat that other half probably later on today. Anyway, you guys, I went live yesterday, and I enjoy it when the universe sends me little gems, and these little gems are human beings that think alike, and they're authentic to me. And I don't know, like the other night I was going to end my live session, and all of a sudden this female joined, and we just had this conversation out the blue, and her name is Saint LMC, if I'm not mistaken. But Saint and I, we just talked about various different topics of conversation, and it was very refreshing. And out of the 20 some people in the room, Saint wasn't afraid to talk to me. You know what I'm saying? And I like people that aren't afraid to talk to me. Fax Porcupine is another individual whom joined one of my live sessions and wasn't afraid to talk to me and have a conversation. And out of the 20 or 30 some people that was in that live conversation, room, Fax was the only one that really held the conversation, and I enjoy that. He also held me accountable in regard to my addiction and things like that, and I enjoy that. So anyway, Cha-Cha is an individual whom I had a conversation with last night from Canada, and Cha-Cha and I, boy, we talked about some shit from methamphetamine to sucking dick to getting your pussy ate. And Cha-Cha, I love when females are open. Even Saint LMC, I believe it's Saint LMC. Even Saint LMC is open and upfront about stuff and don't sugarcoat shit. And I love when women, first of all, I love when women eat and hold it down. You know, like they get a big ass motherfucking steak, a fat ass salad, a big ass motherfucking piece of dessert. They're not bird eating. You know what I'm saying? Taking little bites here and there and all that type of shit. You know, they taking big Whitney Williams bites, and you know they throwing down and still maintaining their shapes. But I like when women curse. Not that that's a good thing. Men or women shouldn't curse because it does nothing for the vibrations. It does a lot for mine when I cuss your ass out. But anyway, I like when women cuss. Just like the she's not, I don't know if she's a teacher or not, but it was the lady from the high school when they were taking me to the cafeteria and we were talking about the middle school kids, and she called them little shitheads or little shits. Either way it goes, she said something about shits, and I was cracking up laughing. That broke the ice for me. I like it when people, you know, not necessarily use profanities, but when they are just open and themselves, authentically themselves. That's what I enjoy, and that's what Cha-Cha liked about me in the live chat last night. She liked the fact that I was authentically myself, and I wasn't afraid to talk about shit. We talked about molestation. Oh my goodness. Then one of her boys joined the chat, and they was chopping it up, and you know, we were all on here it was a good ass motherfucking live chat. So I'm thinking about going live. Well, I am going to go live for my birthday on Halloween, and I'm thinking about going live around 8:00, and I want Cha-Cha. I'm going to reach out to Cha-Cha. I'm going to reach out to Fax Porcupine. I'm going to reach out to Saint LMC, and I'm going to reach out to a couple of other individuals and see if they want to be a part of my birthday live chat event and go from there. I think that it will be successful, and I'm also going to see if my therapist, and maybe I can get Sequoia Moon to join, and we can have a little birthday podcast thing jumping off, and I think that will be the biggest birthday treat of them all. I want to go out to a club. I don't want to go out to the club to go meet anyone or anything of that particular nature. I'm like a cat. You know how a cat is with all that fucking energy, and when you pet them, they just get to moving the back, get to hunching and all that type of shit, and get to sprawling out all over the motherfucking floor and grabbing your hand and scratching you up and shit. They have so much energy pent up inside of them, and that shit feels good. You know, when you're petting them and you're releasing all of that energy that's pent up. I feel like that in regard to the fact that I just want to go dance. I haven't danced at a club in some years, and just to hear the music, feel it, and dance and be a part of that world, I guess, for a night wouldn't be such a bad thing. But I also know what comes with the territory in regard to clubs and all that type of shit. You got the drugs and whatever else the case may be. And my birthday is on Halloween. Bitches gonna be doing more than just tricking and treating, okay? No, literally, they're going to be tricks, and they're going to be motherfuckers handing out them damn treats, okay? Booty wise, head wise, and some of every motherfucking thing else. That's what I like to say. I am the trick that has the motherfucking treats for my motherfucking birthday, because I am that Halloween baby, honey. But anyway, thank you, Fax Porcupine, Saint, LMC, and Cha-Cha, and whoever else that talks to me while we are live. I really do appreciate you guys. It's people such as yourself that keep bitches like me going. And I absolutely enjoy it. You know, I really hit it off with Cha-Cha last night, and I hit it off with all of you guys. But, you know, I really did have a good conversation with, you know, Cha-Cha last night. So I figured if I can have these good conversations solo with you guys, then I could just imagine if we are all together having topics of conversation, I think that it would be off the meat rack, you know, especially what me and Cha-Cha was talking about, and myself and Saint LMC. We were talking about some pretty vulgar stuff at, you know, certain parts of the live chat. And that's okay. You know, that's what podcast is. That's the freedom of having a podcast. You know, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about, curse, and make that shit explicit as you want to. And there's always a category, there's always a category for something out there. Someone likes something, you know, someone likes the way that you cuss and whatever the case may be. And, you know, yeah, that's what makes you popular to them and whatever. Y'all know what I'm saying. But anyway, a miracle happened, you guys. Now, remember, it was just yesterday I was explaining to y'all how I did not appreciate how my mom basically ignored me when I told her that I was going to be a part of this magazine spread. And I'm laughing because Karma is a motherfucker. I promise you. I don't know if my elder sibling has something to do with this, or if this is the universe working in strange, mysterious ways. Now, I just had told you guys about how I felt in regard to my mother ignoring me after I told them that I'm going to be a part of this magazine spread via VoyagePhoenix.com magazine. VoyagePhoenixMagazine.com, or however you want to, you know, pronounce it. That's the magazine that I will be featured in. Anyway, after telling her that I'm going to be a part of this magazine, for those of you that don't know the story, basically I didn't get any feedback. There was no feedback at all. And, you know, I didn't want to allow myself to become that little boy / girl that always seek validation from my mother. And I would give power to that by getting angry and stuff like that. Though I wanted to snap out, because I did mention it a second time, like, hey, did you not hear what I said? I'm going to be a part of this spread or whatever. I shouldn't have even done that. I should have just left it, you know, let it be, and just, you know, put more work into this magazine spread than what I'm doing right now. But I mentioned it again, and I'm just like, you know, did you hear what I said? And this lets me know that my mom wasn't listening to me, because they was like, yeah, you said something about some spread. What you mean some spread? You know, I mean, spread, the way that she said it, the spread could have been spread for a motherfucking sandwich, or it could have been spread to cover my body with. I mean, a spread could have specified any motherfucking thing. And it's just like, you know, yeah, so I was a little bummed. I was a little, you know, crushed or whatever. But as I said, I didn't want to become that little boy / girl and give power to the past, more or less her, in regard to trying to seek some form of validation. But I don't get that. And it's not a all the time thing, you guys. So I don't want y'all to think that, I'm not saying that she's a wicked witch of the motherfucking, north, south, east, or motherfucking west. I'm just, even I can be a better son, you know what I'm saying? Because there has been times where she's told me some things and I would just, it's me and my ADHD. I'm like, I'm trying to think of a character. I care, but in my voice, it's just like, I don't care, it's just like, oh, yeah, I can be like that as well. And so I'm just glad that karma came around as quick as it did, and it allowed her to acknowledge her own self and her own fault in that situation. But anyway, as I foreshadowed, I did talk to my eldest sibling about the situation, and I was telling them how I was done when let me rephrase, I was telling them how I was treated when I told our mother that I'm going to be a part of this magazine spread. And even they were shocked and was just like, damn, they didn't say anything. And I'm like, no, there was absolutely no feedback whatsoever. And we went on to have a even deeper conversation about a lot of different things. And so they kind of caught me up and was just like, well, let me ask you a question. Did you talk to her about how you felt or whatever the case may be? And I didn't. I'm the type of individual, I can be very passive aggressive, and I like to allow things to simmer before I give it a reaction, because not everything is meant to have a reaction. And I also like to get different opinions in regard to how I should handle a situation, because sometimes everything just isn't meant to be handled as well. But this situation was definitely meant to be handled. How soon I was going to handle it, I don't know. But the whole thing of it is it needed to be handled right then and there, instead of waiting for some time to go by. Then that's when the aggression starts to come into play, and it's just like it gets pent up and build up, and before I know it, I'm snapping out and whatever else, and it's just not good. When something is triggering you, get it off your chest right then and there and talk about it and be done with it. But there's also situations where I don't like talking about stuff over the phone, especially something like this. I want to see your facial expressions when I am talking to you about how I am feeling, because my feelings are validated. I mean, my feelings are my feelings, and they're meant to be validated regardless of if you want to validate them or not. My feelings matter. And I would rather have a nice dinner and just be like, look, Mom, I was really hurt, that particular day that I was explaining to you that I was going to be a part of this magazine. And, you pretty much shunned that. But we can talk about some of everybody else's endeavors and achievements, and you seem like you're just happy about that. And that kind of crushed me. And, go from there. So, there's a time and place for everything. And I just think that, the fact that I either called her or she called me, but I think I more likely called her. And she brought up, the fact that, so what you doing, something for the magazine? And she was just showing interest. That really made me feel good. And I was happy to talk about the magazine with her. I'm just like, no, I'm not doing anything for it now, blah, blah, blah. I just want to take some time out and yada, yada, yada. And it was a good feeling overall. So, like I said, I'm not sure if my eldest sibling spoke to her about her behavior, or if the universe just simply taught her a lesson through their karma. I'm just happy that I was acknowledged and my endeavor didn't go in vain, in regard to my mother. And, it's going to make me, definitely work on this magazine spread a lot harder than what I'm doing in regard to what I want to talk about and what I want to input and things of that particular nature. So in a nutshell, you guys, it seems like things are uplifting in regard to my mom and I, and all it took was me getting my frustrations off of my chest, and I know that I got my frustrations off to the wrong party, which is the world, pretty much. But in situations like mine, when you really don't have anyone to talk to, sometimes talking to strangers, talking to a fucking psychiatrist or a therapist or whatever, that's talking to a stranger, unless you know your therapist or psychiatrist like that, but you're telling a complete stranger pretty much your business. And this is what I'm doing in regard to this situation, but it's very therapeutic. It's very therapeutic for me to do this in regard to my podcast and you guys and stuff like that. So I'm happy that I am telling certain stories and things like that, because y'all just don't know how therapeutic this is for me. And the fact that I can come and talk to, strangers about my mom, not in a bad way, but in a way that I'm frustrated. And I know and a lot has to do with me too. I have to stop being so, passive aggressive, or just so passive in general, and take the lead and be like, hey, look, this hurt my feelings, blah, 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 blah. Can this not happen again? And stand in that particular power and go from there. So there's faults on both ends, and if we can learn to agree to disagree, then I think the relationship will be, a lot better, than what it is now. But that's all I wanted to tell you guys. I just wanted to let y'all know that a blessing happened overnight, and I'm not sure if my eldest sibling has a hand at this, or if it's just the universe and, at play on her own. I'm not sure, but I just know that whatever happened, my mom came at me in a whole different light, and I enjoy this particular light. And I think whatever element is behind this, or elements that are behind this, I really do appreciate those forces within that helped out regarding this situation between my mom and I. So thank you. Anyway, you guys, Cha-Cha, Saint LMC, and Fax Porcupine, I will be reaching out to you guys in regard to my birthday, Halloween, so we can try to figure out something in regard to going live and fucking with the people. But anyway, I'm going to end this, and you guys have a good one. And until my next episode, I am D Venom, and I am out. 22:33, time of the recording.